Tuesday, July 9th at 6 p.m. The Bloomfield Public Health and Safety Environment Subcommittee meeting has come to order. And good evening, everyone.
We have enough members for a quorum?
It looks like it's me, you, Councilor Mahan, Tony. It looks like I see Tony Harrington and Todd. And
I didn't know you were on the line. Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Yep. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you, sir. Happy birthday to your mom as well.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks. Yes, we do have a quorum. And so we're going to get started, and the meeting is called to order. And we do have all councilors present except for our chair, Cindy Lloyd. And so I'm Councilor Todd Cooper, and I will be in her stead tonight. And so let's get started with Chief Hammock, Police Department updates.
See here. Sorry for the delay. I just couldn't see my screen there for a second. Can you all see the crime stats?
We can, Chief, if you want to, if you could make it bigger.
That is, I'm having a little computer
mode.
issue. That's about as big as I can get it. So crime remains down for the month of June and down 25% for the year. Sure why I can't. Having a little problem with my screen, and I apologize. We have 4 personnel vacancies at the police department. We have 2 officers or recruits who are currently in the police academy, and Officer Scaffarello and Officer Richter successfully completed their field training assignment, and they are currently assigned to the patrol division and doing very well. For the month of June, our traffic statistics, we had 57 motor vehicle accidents. 26 of those were on private property. We had 270 motor vehicle stops, so those numbers continue to be good. You can see that they're higher than they were in May and considerably higher than they were a year ago. Motor vehicle details continue to be pretty consistent. 123 this month. Those numbers have remained consistent over the past year. Motor vehicle complaints, we had 27. And we had 3 driving while intoxicated arrests during the month of June. We continue with emphasis following the town manager's direction on Maple Avenue and Burr Road for speeding and commercial vehicles, tractor trailers, etc. Patrol has conducted 23 motor vehicle details during the month of June. 18 motor vehicle stops were made. I know that previously the discussion circulated around the public works activities out there with roadway modifications. So we're going to see how that impacts the area over the next few months in summer. We're optimistic for that. So we'll be reporting on that as summer progresses. Wittenberry Avenue, we've gotten some speeding complaints. We did 10 motor vehicle details. Officers conducted 12 motor vehicle stops. And then School Street, both for stop sign violations and for tractor trailer violations. That's one of the 6 roadways in town that's restricted from tractor trailer usage. Unfortunately, we did not observe any violations, but officers are going to continue doing motor vehicle activity in that area to see if we can see what the complainant has been seeing. We had 1 citizen complaint, but when the supervisor spoke with the citizen and explained the officer's actions, the citizen withdrew the complaint against the officer. We had 1 use of force during the month of June. Officers responded to a disturbance where it was reported that one of the parties was armed with a firearm. When they arrived on scene, officers encountered the subject in the rear yard of the residence. One of the officers pointed his firearm at the subject, gave him verbal commands. That person was taken into custody without incident. But as I've reported to you in the past, whenever an officer draws their firearm, we report it as a use of force to both the state and to our accreditation agency. We investigated it. Everything is in compliance with our policy and with state statute. So we feel very comfortable with that use of force there. Bloomfield Volunteer Ambulance, as you know, Zach Klomberg has taken over for Ellen White. He's hit the ground running. He's doing an outstanding job. The ALS Advanced Life Support contract for our paramedics was awarded to AMR. We anticipate final signatures this month. That'll continue a long-standing relationship that we've had with them that goes back many years, certainly my entire tenure in Bloomfield. And that's been an outstanding relationship. So we're very happy that that contract is continuing. CPR training classes for Parks and Rec, 29 people was done during June. EMR classes for 2 officers. Those are the officers that I just talked about, Scaffarello and Richter, who completed their field training. They had to go through emergency medical response training, and they're both doing very well. We've added intranasal naloxone, blood glucose monitoring, and EpiPen auto injectors as interventions for the volunteers. And we're doing a feasibility study for paramedic rapid sequence intubation. I can't tell you what it is, but I know Zach is very optimistic about and excited about this level of care that we're offering to the community. He is also reviewing all of our general orders up at BVA to update everything to make sure we're in compliance with modern statutes and modern standards of care. And we met with the health district this month and obtained new overdose leave behind kits. The Department of Public Health is continuing to monitor an increase in overdoses in the general greater Hartford area. And we continue to get the most modern medicines that we can to contribute and to aid the public. And that is the conclusion of my report. I am available to answer questions.
Thank you, Chief, very much. Are there any questions from our subcommittee members? Any questions? Hearing none. Chief, I do have just I think you said Maple and Burr, there were 24 stops and 18. When you say 24 stops, right? And out of that, there were 18 actions. I mean, it's those aren't tickets or anything, correct?
Hold on, I apologize. I lost my screen again.
Sure.
Let me just look quick. Maple Avenue, 23 motor vehicle details, 18 motor vehicle stops. So it just means that the officers were out there on 23 separate details, and during the time that they were out there, they stopped 18 motor vehicles for violations. What the result of that is, I did not report on those numbers, but I can certainly report back. In many cases, it depends on the level of the offense. We give, as we've talked about previously, we give the officers a lot of discretion that they can issue a ticket or they can give a verbal warning or a written warning to the motorist. It's really at the officer's discretion during the stop. Usually what the directive from my office is that if you're stopping the same people and they've gotten a warning, or you've been out in the same area and you've been given warnings, it's time to escalate it to motor vehicle infractions so that people take it more serious and know that we're trying to impact the area more diligently.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Council Oliver?
Thank you, Councilor Cooper. How you doing, Chief Hammock?
I'm doing well, sir.
All right, I appreciate your report. I just have a follow-up question. I'm not sure if you can answer this or not. The individual that was apprehended for supposedly having a firearm, did they actually have a firearm when you got
Yes.
there?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. And good job, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Chief. Next, we're going to have our fire department updates. Center Fire District, Chief Bernard.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, sir. So for the month of June, we had 31 calls for service. We responded to 4 motor vehicle accidents, 2 carbon monoxide alarms, 1 water call, 1 unauthorized burn, and 4 electrical wiring / equipment problems. The Bloomfield Center Fire Department was called to Penwood Park on June 1st for an injured hiker. Our members assisted the Bloomfield Volunteer Ambulance and the ENCON Police with transporting the party by Stokes Basket and our Utility 1 to the ambulance at the Gun Mill Road entrance. On June 12th, we responded to the Blue Hills Fire District on a dual response for a reported structure fire located at 145 Brookline Avenue. Our crews assisted with fire suppression and overhaul, and the fire was brought under control through the coordinated efforts of both fire districts and with the help of the Windsor Volunteer Fire Department. On June 12th, we responded to 20 Downing Circle for a cat stuck in the attic area above the garage. Our members worked diligently at gaining access to the cat, including cutting a hole in the sheetrock, and unfortunately with no success. The homeowners seemed pretty confident that the cat would come down on their own. On June 26th, we received a mutual aid call to assist the Blue Hills Fire Department at 40 East Newberry Road with a chemical fire in the building. On June 28th, our Squad 3, which is out of our new firehouse at 360 Tunxus Avenue, responded mutual aid to 41 Glenwood Lane to assist the Windsor Volunteer Fire Department at a house fire that they had. As far as projects right now, we're in the process of replacing windows and rotten trim work at our Company 2 firehouse at 41 Doncaster Road. We are also having outdoor trim work and painting done at Company 1 at 18 Wittenberry Avenue. As far as community involvement, as previously mentioned, we held our Company 3 open house on Saturday, June 7th, which went very well. Our auxiliary recently donated a wheelchair to the Bloomfield High School. On Tuesday, June 4th, a few of our members assisted with distributing food share to the seniors at 330 Park Avenue. Also, the Fire Department Scholarship Committee received several applications, and after careful review, they chose Anijah Gray for her outstanding community service and dedication to pursuing higher education, and will attend Trinity College to study public policy and criminal justice, aiming for a career as a police officer and a detective. Her impactful work as a volunteer coach with the Central Connecticut Jaguars youth track team, helping young athletes build skills and confidence, exemplifies her commitment to the community. We were honored to present the scholarship to Anijah, celebrating her achievements and bright future. We will be having a charity softball game on Saturday, July 9th against the Windsor Volunteer Fire Department. As far as training, at this point, we currently have 37 active members on our roster and 4 junior auxiliary members. As far as our training, on June 3rd, we had our department and company meeting, which was followed by our SOP and SOG reviews. On June 10th, we had our annual district meeting for the budget, which was followed by lifting and stabilization drill, which is for motor vehicle accidents, etc. On June 17th, we did a classroom. It was a river rescue awareness, which is just something we're getting involved with now because we had a river rescue up in the gorge with Simsbury and East Granby. On June 21st, there was a 4-hour river awareness practical, which was held up at the Farmington River. And on June 24th, it's typically the last Tuesday of the month, we hold our monthly maintenance night, which is where our members go through the firehouses and fire trucks. That concludes the report for the Bloomfield Center Fire.
Thank you so much, Chief. Are there any questions from our committee members or any questions? No? I just have two comments, not questions. Myself, just want to thank you for the information on the scholarship that you, the fire district was able to send out. That's great news, always is.
Very
Number
welcome.
one, absolutely. And number two, I'll be honest with you, I don't know about anybody else, but the cat in the tree in the fire department always brings me back to my childhood. So that's one of those feel-good stories, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I much appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yes, sir, Chief. All right. And so we're going to have Blue Hills Fire District, Chief Jones.
Good evening, everyone. The Blue Hills Fire Department for the month of June responded to 41 calls for service, including, as Chief Barnard said, an involved structure fire at 145 Brookline Avenue, which Blue Hills Fire Department was assisted by Bloomfield Center Fire, a dual response, and the Windsor Fire Department. East Granby and Simsbury Fire Department provided townwide coverage in case another incident occurred. We also responded to 2 motor vehicle fires, and one which was fully involved on Route 218, just over the town line in Windsor. And we responded to a rollover accident that required extrication at Blue Hills and Cottage Grove. As Chief Barnard mentioned, Blue Hills Fire Department also responded, along with Bloomfield Fire Department, mutual aid, a hazmat incident at 40 East Newberry Road that burned several 55-gallon drums of chemical, and it required a large response from DWEP and a cleanup contractor. Most of the other calls occurred were activated fire alarms, unintentional, CO detector activations, motor vehicle accidents with fluids, incidents involving power lines or cable wires. We have 10 volunteer firefighters that will be taking the Fire 1 class this fall. We also have 2 firefighters that passed the Q2 class that Suffield Fire hosted. And then they'll be trained, they're now trained on driving fire apparatus. That's the first step. Training for the month of June, June 2nd, we had the company operations. That's where each officer assists volunteers clean the firehouse. We're always making sure firehouses are clean, checking equipment, that sort of thing. June 9th, we trained on hose deployment at the training tower on Tungus Avenue. This training trains firefighters how to deploy hose for a more efficient way of operating and deploying hose. It, it also helps to get the hose to a fire sooner. June 16th, we did a critique of the structure fire on Brookline Avenue, and we trained using the decon shower. This decon shower is what we do in case of a hazmat incident. It cleans the people that are going into the hazardous environment, their clothing and clothing, equipment, and that sort of thing. On June 23rd, we trained on airbags and air tools. This training teaches firefighters how to set up and use the airbags during the extrication and rescue operation. The community outreach for the month of June, June 20, 21st, and 22nd, we did the Juneteenth block party Friday, followed by the Juneteenth parade on Saturday, and Sunday was the food truck and craft fair festival and concert. Each of these events was successfully attended. We would also like to thank the town of Bloomfield, along with the individual departments, along with Center Fire, to help in supporting the incident. the event. On June 24th, Blue Hills Fire had a visit from the Girl Scout team, a total of 15 kids with a group leaders. Deputy Chief denied a fire safety presentation that lasted 2 hours. And of course, they had given us some boxes of Girl Scout cookies. June 28th, Blue Hills Fire participated in the Bloomfield United Methodist Strawberry Festival. Fire apparatus was on hand, and we gave out many fire hats and other safety materials for the patrons to read. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate it. Any questions from our subcommittee members or? None? So do we have Paula Jones? Please.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to ask a question. Just
Mhm.
that fire on East Newbury Road, I think I read in the paper that the probable cause of that was the extreme heat. Is that the case?
Yeah, that's the information that I was receiving about that incident, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Paul. Chief, just a quick question. You say you have 10 folks who have the firefighter 1 training. Is that the full complement of people who now have that training? Or do you have more in the pipeline to have it or need it?
Well, there's other people that are on the department that already have that training, and they exceed that level of training.
Okay.
These are just new folks that have just come in that need to get that training so they can, enter the hot zone or the fire zone.
Gotcha. Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, that was definitely just a question. I wanted to make sure that, see if your guys were getting their training. Awesome. Thank you. No other questions. Again, thank you, Chief. We're going to move on to Ms. Blumenfeld, our EMS report.
Thank you. The EMS committee did not meet in June. It's not a regularly scheduled meeting. But we do have some people who are working on some ideas to present to offset the potential decrease in volunteer incentives due to the possible taxing of incentives if they go over $600 a year. We'll hopefully have something after our next meeting to recommend as a way to keep our more active volunteers from ending up with an effective decrease for some of their hours, which would not be a good incentive in the committee's view. And that's really about it for me.
Okay. Are there any questions? No? Good. Thank you, Ms. Blumenfeld. We're going to move on to our conservation, energy, and environment updates. Paula, good
Yes.
evening.
Thank you and good evening. In terms of June highlights, the kind of the major thing that we spent our time talking about was sustainable CT. Sustainable CT fellows are actually interns, summer interns. And we were contacted by Amelia Kearney, who kind of offered her assistance on either, various projects that were related to sustainability or potentially getting recertified. Amelia came to our CEC meeting to kind of talk about, what would be involved. And then John Coleman, Linda Loriano, and I met with her via Zoom last week to get some additional questions answered and to develop a preliminary plan to getting recertified. It's actually a more kind of, I think, complicated process perhaps than it was when we got recertified several years ago in terms of the requirements. But John, Linda, and I think we have a good shot, so we're going to take a stab at it. we developed a work plan, and she is going to assist us with uploading documents in the application process. It's a very aggressive goal since the application deadline is August 15th, but we're going to try. And even if we should fall short, and we will try not to, the application window is open twice a year, so that gives us a running start for the next, the next time. So that's going to be kind of our summer activity, and we'll be talking more about that at our meeting tomorrow. We also talked at that meeting about 2 resolutions that we had actually voted on earlier in the year, but given the timing with budget and everything else going on, we hadn't really requested the council to consider it. So we did follow up in June and ask that the Governance Policy and Economic Development Subcommittee consider those resolutions. The first resolution concerns banning artificial turf installations. The second resolution concerns applying to get Bloomfield included in what's called the Highlands region. And the subcommittee move that ahead to the full council to take action on. It's really kind of a mom and apple pie. There's no downside to doing that. And I've got on the second page of my report here a little bit of background for the counselors to, get additional information if they like, but it should be coming to a council meeting. In terms of artificial turf, we really appreciated the discussion Monday night. It was a great discussion, I thought, and the subcommittee concluded that it would be really appropriate for the town manager and school superintendent to have some follow-up discussions. And so that was just kind of left. But again, it was great to have the conversation, and we appreciate that. So that concludes my report, with the exception that there are a couple of upcoming events. The big one for the summer, which got pushed back a little bit due to some personal circumstances for the CEC members who are planning this. On August 6th now, with Bloomfield Public Library, we are doing a webinar on the dangers of extreme heat, what to know about it, and how to stay safe. I did want to acknowledge Mr. Blumenfeld, because I did not report out last May. I was not, or this past month, I wasn't present, but he did provide some contact information. CC thought it would be a better webinar if we could get some input and involvement from EMS, and we are doing that. So the upside to delaying that presentation by a month is to have, I think, a more robust presentation. And of course, we'll be checking all the content with the West Hartford and Bloomfield Public Health District. So that concludes my report, unless people have questions.
Thank you, Paula. Looking to see if there are any questions. I don't see any hands raised. I heard you, Paula, I heard you ask the question of Chief Jones about the heat-related incident. Is that, were you going somewhere with that? Is that?
I just found it, actually, I guess I shouldn't have been surprised. The webinar we're doing is focusing on practical measures that residents can take to protect themselves, like if they don't have air conditioning, really just to increase awareness about the impacts of heat in terms of long-term health, because people aren't aware of that. It's like the #1 killer, certainly in the summertime, are heat-related deaths. But quite frankly, we'll talk about this at our meeting tomorrow. I'm not thinking about chemical drums of chemicals exploding because it gets so hot. And that's apparently what happened. That was that was not something I ever thought about or contemplated. Right. So I think we need to be thinking about those things as a town.
Right. Okay, so and as I understand, I guess the focus is more on personal protection rather than environmental.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. For this particular webinar, yes.
Okay. With that, I'd like to remind folks maybe just a couple of things to ensure that you check on your neighbors who may or may not have the ability to cool off in their homes, and also remind folks that our senior centers are open during the day in libraries where people can cool off, read a book, or, take part in some activities and still be safe during the day in the heat. Certainly don't want anyone to be in jeopardy during these times. So thank you, everyone, for making, bringing that to the awareness of our community. Okay. So next, we're going to have Amy Kraus, West Hartford Bloomfield Health Updates.
Good evening.
Evening.
So I normally just give our infectious disease update. So as of July 1st, the total number of confirmed measles cases has gone up. It's now 1,267 confirmed cases. There are now a total of 27 outbreaks reported in 2025 so far. However, on a good note, for it being good, the number of deaths has not gone up, which is a good thing when dealing with an outbreak. One of the questions that we've been seeing lately out in the community with people traveling on vacation is, can I get measles while traveling? And so I wanted to just let the general public know. Measles can be found around the world. Measles can live in the air for 2 hours after someone who's been infectious leaves that open space area. So what we've always been recommending is following the CDC guidance that talks about before international travel, evaluate whether or not your family needs to get a vaccine dose, and then continue to monitor yourself after you return for about 3 weeks. And again, if people have any questions, they can feel free to reach out to the health district. As I've mentioned in the past, the health district does carry the adult MMR vaccine as well as MMR for children. And then again, listed below is the breakdown to get you to that 1267 number. And then again, just the map of the United States, just showing the number of cases. So what we've been doing in the community for this past month, we've been providing health education material now every Tuesday at the Bloomfield Community Center. This coincides with the Food Pantry Day, as well as the district's wellness screenings. We're at the community center every Tuesday. So we will be tabling there as well with our health educator. We've continued to provide education harm reduction material. We did that at the Juneteenth celebration on June 22nd. On the 25th of June, we provided health education material at the library story time. We've been doing a lot of partnership with our library in town. And so again, we're going to continue to do that monthly. We're offering the Strength and Balance session still, and that was held at the Senior Center on June 27th. And we're going to be continuing to hold that also on July 25th. And we'll be trying out a new program geared towards more core strengthening and posture starting at the end of August, early September. And that is held by a licensed physical therapist that the district has, again, partnered with. We've partnered with Bloomfield PD and BVA, as the chief had mentioned, with Zach distributing overdose kits, and we're continuing to have conversations about providing educational sessions with and to for the officers. We are offering a naloxone training for the community. Those are being held at the district office actually tomorrow night, July 10th at 5:30 p.m. We did hold one in June and had about 12 individuals attend that session. So next month I'll be able to give you an update as far as how many participants came for July 10th. We are promoting and running the 3rd annual Cancer Prevention Fair. That's being held on July 31st from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at 330 Park Ave. And we've worked with Yvette on the Bloomfield Walking Club partnership. And so we're going to be partnering again and supporting Bloomfield's walking program. And so we'll be doing that on Monday mornings. And that this is an activity that will begin about mid-July that the health district will take over running. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Okay. Any questions from, doesn't look like from our panelists, but, our subcommittee members rather, I'm sorry. Ms. Kraus, I do have a question. What's the capacity for the naloxone training, and is there a registration that folks have or should have done?
For the one that's being held in our office, no, you can just show up for that. If there are places within the community, businesses that would like us to provide that, we do offer that and have offered that in the past. We do also, as I've mentioned early on in previous sessions, we've also offered flu clinics to small businesses. So if people are looking to have a clinic on site, we've run those for businesses as well. So this particular one, yes, it's being held in our office, but no, you do not need to sign up and register. You can just show up.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate you. And we're going to move right on. So everyone, we're going to go to there other public safety concerns, which there's none here in the room. And so I'm going to move on. There's any public comments online? Anything, India? No? Awesome. So what we now only have Councilor Oliver, it looks. So what we're going to be unable to approve the minutes without a quorum, right? Who? Yeah, okay, Council Oliver, what?
Councilor Mahan's not on.
I thought we had a quorum.
Where is he? Oh, okay, we do now, right. I did not see you. For some reason, your name didn't show up.
Yeah,
So-
I'm here, Todd.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much, Council Oliver. And Council Mahan, I'm sorry. Thank you so much. Just 1 second. Okay, to the subcommittee members, we're going to defer on the approval of the previous meeting minutes until the next subcommittee meeting. All right? They will be available then. And truly with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Thank you so much, everyone, for coming out tonight. This meeting is adjourned. It is 6:39. Have a good evening.